I'm drinking coffee.
Yeah, I just brewed the pot.
And smoking Mary Jane.
Yeah, we got that Zaza.
And I do a little talking in between. But anyway, on with the show.
The show is about to start.
Another episode of Talking with Burley, aka Mary Jane and Coffee. Even when we're not live, we're still doing our Mary Jane and Coffee. And today we want to talk about fighting. I see a lot of people try to make fighting easy in these self-defense things that, you move in close, you capture, you hold here, you throw, and they talk about it, but I'm tired of these demonstrations. Ask some of your teachers to show it to you in sparring session. That means real live, that means no set patterns. Nobody's working with you, they're working against you.
When you pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too.
Because what's happening is people trying to make fighting too easy. Fighting is hard, people. It's hard. It's not pleasant. It's ugly. It's rarely pretty. What's pretty in the fight is that you live through it, you make it home, win or lose. That's pretty in the fight. The actual technique and what's happening may not be pretty. My teacher told me something. He said, if I can see your form in the fight, either you're lying about the fight, or you could say that you could tell me your form that you did in the fight, either you're lying about the fight, or it was a choreographed fight. Because in real time, you're not seeing nothing. You ain't going to see these structures, these quan sals. This is why Wing Chun fails. Because when real time hit, you ain't going to be able to pull off these quan sals and tan sals. Things is happening hard, they happening fast. You gotta make split seconds decisions. You gotta have a chin to take one. So all of that, you just gonna rush at your opponent? No. What if your opponent hits harder than you? He's more of a beast than you.
Maybe I ought to eat your cornbread.
So that's like you running and trying to bear hug a bear. Do you try to bear hug a bear? Because if you try to bear hug a bear, you already know what's gonna happen.
Wrestle with an alligator. I done tussle with a whale. I done handcuff lightning, throw thunder in jail.
You gotta fight with your number one weapon. See these ain't your number one weapons. The number one weapon right here, this supercomputer. You got sitting floating in liquid in your skull cap.
Not just a hat rack, my friend.
That's your number one weapon. That powers all of these weapons. That makes all of these weapons effective. It's the number one weapon. You gotta think smart. You gotta train smart. So you can't be caught up with these fake self-defense people talking about, you do this, you take my self-defense course, and you ready for the street. No, you're not, they lying to you. It's a kung fu hustle, it's bamboozle, they lying. Don't fall for it, people. Don't fall for it. You're gonna waste a lot of years of your life, a lot of money and dollars spent on something that you still ain't gonna be able to use when it's real time. These fake self-defense dudes are frauds unless they got real, actual training in certain arts, which is there's only three ways to fight: punching, kicking, and wrestling. If they're not really immersed in one of those, they're probably they're telling you a lie. Telling you a lie. Even with weapons. You got all these people talk about knives and cutting, and they ain't cutting nothing. When's the last time they cut something? And they ain't prepared to cut nothing. To deal with the laws, the land, that's right. You don't just poke somebody up with the blicker and get away with it. There's laws behind that. You don't just blam somebody with the stick and get away with it. There's laws behind that. So when you think about using weapons and stuff like that, you gotta be in tune to what the laws are of the land. Don't just let people sell you a gun and a knife thing and you in a place where gun and knife ain't good for you. Like a New York City. What you gonna do then? You gonna learn this art, poke somebody up and then get 100 years. What did you learn? How to beg? Don't be caught up with these self-defense frauds. As my teacher said, you are the weapon. Anything else is just an extension.
52 blocks, full throttle. We don't hold hands or warm bottles. You won't be coddled. I unapologetically let my nuts hang till tomorrow. I offend, unfriend, and unfollow. It's 52 blocks, full throttle. We don't hold hands or warm bottles. You won't be coddled. I unapologetically let my nuts hang till tomorrow. I offend, unfriend, and unfollow. 52, 52.